Okay, great. Okay, everyone, welcome to the January 2022 meeting of the CB3 SLA committee meeting. My name is Michelle Cooper-Smith. I am the chair of the committee, and Jeanette Kim is helping me with Zoom facilitation. Just a reminder that this meeting is being recorded. Please sign in to the chat with your name and affiliation if relevant in the chat box. And if you want to speak on a specific agenda item, please note that in the chat. Reminder that the chat is just used for signing in, to sign up to speak or to ask about technical issues. The chat will go to myself and Jeanette only. I will announce when each agenda item is up for comment from the public. Please use the raise hand Zoom function if you would like to speak on that agenda item. I will then recognize speakers with a maximum 2-minute time limit, but I reserve the right to make that shorter if necessary. If you're here representing a group, please select no more than 2 speakers to represent the group. I will note the number of attendees supporting or opposing the agenda item. If you want to help me do that, that'd be great. Please keep yourself muted unless you have been recognized to speak by me in order to avoid background noise, and we will mute you if you do not mute yourself. As you can see here on the bottom, this is the agenda. We will probably go a little bit out of order tonight. But the first thing I will do, I'm going to stop sharing now so you can see everyone.
Can you talk about closed captioning?
Oh. There's closed captioning, so if you need it, it should be on the screen. Susan, right? Everyone can see it. It's on.
On the very bottom, it says live transcript. Click on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It's new this month. Okay. So the first item on our agenda is approval of the previous month's minutes. Does anyone from the committee have any objections to last month's minutes? Okay. Hearing none, I'm going to move into a roll call vote. Michelle Cooper-Smith, present. Jeanette Kim. Jeanette, I know you're here.
Present.
Thank you. Jesse Beck.
I said present, sorry. Mute, blah, blah, blah.
I got you. Don't worry. Jesse Beck. I can see that you're trying to speak, Jesse, but I can't hear you. I'll come back to you. David Crane.
Here.
Jamie Felber.
Here.
Herman Hewitt. Absent. Ellen Liu.
Yes.
Oh, Jesse. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Ellen Liu absent. Paul Ciros. Okay, last month's minutes are approved. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order. Is the applicant for number 8 here, Tony's Famous Pizza?
I think he is, but he's on mute because I think he's iPhone because he seems to be potentially. Maybe not.
iPhone's on mute, so I don't know. Okay, going once, going twice. Tony's Famous Pizza. We'll come back to you if you're not here right now. Okay, all right.
Hello?
Hi.
I'm here. I'm sorry. It's Sal Casaccio with Tony's Famous Pizza.
Hi. Okay, thanks. Yeah, we're gonna go with you first because I think we can get that through that pretty quickly. Okay, so for those of you who haven't joined this committee meeting before, I will share the questionnaire for this applicant in the chat. I will hit the highlights of the application. I will then give the applicant a chance to clarify anything or correct anything. Then the committee will ask questions, and then we will go to the public if anyone is here in attendance. The committee, you have the draft resolution already, which I shared with you earlier this morning. So again, this is number 8, 231 First Avenue, Tony's Famous Pizzeria. This is an application for a beer wine license, and the premises located at 231 First Avenue between East 13th and East 14th Street. letter of no objection of 74 people, 11 tables with 22 seats, one L-shaped bar serving pizza and Italian specialties and from a full kitchen, food during all hours of operation. They're asking for 4 a.m. all nights. Sal, did you, I'm not sure if we got it late to the office, a petition?
My attorney was taking care of that, yes.
Okay, Susan, I think that Ed forwarded to me one email from the attorney, but not both. So I actually don't have a petition.
Gee, I don't know it, you know, as far as I know, it was done.
Yeah, oh, no, Sal, not you. Sorry, Susan from the office. Susan, can you do mind checking your inbox to see if you have it?
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Thank you. They sent the other email. It's from Neil Vasaki.
Right, that's my attorney.
Yeah, I have one,
What-
Susan, for all the postings, but not one with the petition.
So what was the, I'm sorry, who was the email from?
nmv66@aol.com.
MMD?
N as in Nancy. I'll give it to you in the chat. Okay, in the meantime, anything that I was incorrect about there, Sal? 4 a.m. beer, wine.
No, that's correct.
Okay, thanks. And just as a note, committee, this this location was previously licensed with a beer, wine. There were no hours stipulations. It was approved in 2009. First 2003, then again in 2009 when it was given stipulations, but no hours.
Right.
But the only stipulation really was not to use the backyard. Which
Yeah,
I don't,
not
you're
the
not
backyard.
asking for that, right? Okay,
No, I am not.
great. Okay, does the committee have any questions for this applicant?
Is this just a change to, like, it's an existing restaurant that's applying for a beer and wine, right?
No, it was a different pizza restaurant that closed, and this is a new pizza restaurant that's opening in the same location.
And they've already put, just because the sign on Google says Tony's Famous Pizza.
So I think oh yeah, they're there. Sorry, yes, they're already existing.
Gotcha.
They've already opened. Sorry, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I got no issue with this.
Okay, Susan.
I'm not seeing the petitions. Oh, so let me see, I see the email from Ed to you.
Yeah, and then, but in the body of the email the attorney wrote, I had a second email.
Okay, I'm looking for it.
Next month, committee, we are asking applicants to turn in everything by 12 p.m. on Friday before, so we don't have this anymore, because in pre-pandemic times, they would just bring it to the meeting and it was a lot easier to deal with, but we do not have that.
Okay, so I don't think I was copied. I know I wasn't copied on the email, so I don't have it.
Okay.
Can they send it?
Sal,
they
could you
didn't-
ask your lawyer to resend it?
I can. My attorney was supposed to be on this with us. I don't know if he was supposed to be on this Zoom call with us.
Well, I don't have it, and it didn't come in on time.
Okay, so I think we're gonna have to, committee, sorry, we're gonna have to postpone this one. Sal, if you wanted to just get in touch with your
Isn't
attorney.
everything I could do? I'm sorry, isn't everything?
No, I mean, just postpone it tonight. We'll come back to you tonight, but just if you could call your attorney in the meantime and have him send the petition to Susan.
Yeah,
Okay.
does he have my email?
I can, we
Yeah,
can
you
respond
can.
to, why don't you, Susan, why don't you respond to the attorney on the other email?
Okay, I wasn't, because I'm not there. He never emailed me. I have nothing to
Oh,
respond.
Ed forwarded it to us. Do you want me to do it?
No, I found it.
Okay. All right, Sal, so we're just gonna put a pin in it for right now, but we'll come back to you tonight as long as we can get the petition from your attorney tonight, okay?
Okay, do you know when that would be?
I'll call on you next again if we can get it by then, so.
All right. I'm sitting here. Okay, thank you. I've been sitting
Yeah,
here
no
waiting.
problem. Okay, sorry
you.
everyone about that. I was hoping we could get the petition. So we're just gonna move on down the list now. We're gonna go to number 2, number 9 Stanton Street. Are the applicants here for that?
I'm the applicant, yes.
Yes, and I'm his
Hi.
representative.
Hi, okay, great. I'm just gonna drop the questionnaire into the chat. Okay, so this is number 2, 9 Stanton Street. This is a request for an upgrade to a full on-premises liquor license for Forsythia. It's an application for a certificate of occupancy of 74 people, 15 tables and 42 seats. 1 8-foot by 8-foot L-shaped bar, Italian food prepared in a full kitchen. There are 9 full OPs within 500 feet. This applicant was approved by this committee and by CB3 in December 2020 for a beer wine license with closing hours of 1 a.m. Sunday to Thursday and 2 a.m. Friday to Saturday. They're asking for the same hours here. This location previously was licensed with a full OP. It was approved in January 2018, so that was the prior operator. There were no 301 complaints at this location since they've started operating. And I checked with one of our former board chair, Alicia Lewis Coleman, who lives across the street, and she did not report any issues with this location. The one question, I had 2 questions for you guys, or 3, excuse me. You put that you wanted to close at 2 a.m. on Sunday. Is that accurate?
We just would like the option to. We're
Okay.
currently closed on Sundays and plan to be for the foreseeable future.
Okay. And then do you have a closed fixed facade or do you have windows that you close?
The doors all slide and close on the front side.
So do you keep them open ever?
Only during hours of operation, if guests want them open,
Okay,
yes.
okay. That's one of our stipulation questions and you didn't check it, so I just wanted to clarify. Okay, and then what hours are you serving food?
We serve starting at 5 p.m. Until the kitchen closes. The last table sits at 10 o'clock, so usually that's around 10:30, 10:45 at the latest.
Okay, because typically we ask for folks to serve food during all hours of being open. So is that?
We can continue serving food later. That's
Okay.
certainly we can do.
Yeah, they'll certainly have a menu that will address, that will be sufficient enough, you know, even if it's a late night menu.
I would love to stay open later, so that's 100% doable.
Okay, great. Okay, committees, do you have any questions for these folks?
Why is it, before I ask a question, I just want to butt in a little. Susan, you're at this meeting and the fire is in your building.
The fires, I've been getting lots of, I'm sorry, I've been getting
Just-
lots of emails. The fire was really terrible in the card shop downstairs, but it's
Yes.
limited to that. Thank you, though.
Okay, okay. Why on Sunday why on Sunday at 2 o'clock instead of 1 o'clock or midnight?
It's just a weekend night, and it's a lot of times Sunday night falls on a holiday. So Monday is a federal holiday, and Sunday then is essentially a weekend night on weekends like that. And we just want the ability to stay open on the rare occasion to a later time frame. It's not something that we have any intention of doing regularly.
But majority of the other times, it's the beginning of a work week. The next
We have no
morning for
intention
people.
on really doing anything different. We're a fine dining establishment. If you walk past the restaurant, you can see that pretty much immediately. We're not changing anything that we're doing with the establishment whatsoever. We just want the ability to serve cocktails along with a fine dining menu. That's really it.
Well, my problem is not the fine dining or the service. It's the time when people are beginning to go to sleep to begin work on Monday morning.
Right. I think that my point is more so that it's a very quiet, relaxed, intimate environment. It's not something with loud music playing. And us serving cocktails as opposed to wine and beer, which we already do, doesn't change what that environment looks like whatsoever.
Madam Chair, do you have anybody to speak on this from the neighborhood?
I didn't see anyone put their name in. I talked to,
We have one supporter, Rachel Engelberg, on the call with us.
okay, all right, hold on one sec. But Herman, you heard me, I emailed Alicia to ask her about it and she had said that there were no issues with these guys. But if you want to go to, let me just ask Herman if anyone else.
No, I just want to clarify that small little point, but that's, I'm okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I just wanted to make it clear too, just to be clear, we're not asking for any additional hours, right? They're already
Right.
approved the hours that we're asking. We're just asking for the upgrade. That's all.
okay.
So
Sorry, go ahead, Jeanette.
does that mean that they've been open till 2 a.m. on Sundays? They just would like to serve a full liquor
Yes.
license all the way
Yeah.
till 2 a.m.? Okay, got it.
Same hours, yeah.
And I have no truck with that.
Okay, all right. Anyone else on the committee have any questions before I see if there's someone from the public to speak? Okay, if there's anyone here from the public to speak on this item, number 2, 9 Stanton Street, please raise your Zoom hand so that Jeanette or I can see you. Okay, I see one hand. Oh. Okay, Rachel, go ahead.
I just wanted to speak in support of the restaurant. I live in the community, obviously, and I feel like they really brought a lot to the neighborhood. They really have a great menu. It'd be really nice to see some cocktails on the menu. I think it would really enhance the experience, and it's not a loud restaurant or anything at all. It's very like quiet. You just walk past and you just see people eating, and it's not disruptive at all. If anything, I think it brings a lot to the community. So I think it would really enhance everything for everyone.
Okay, great, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, anyone else? Number 2, 9 Stanton Street. Please raise your Zoom hand. Okay. All right, I'm not seeing anyone else. Anyone else from the committee have any questions, comments, concerns before I share my screen with the stipulations? Excuse me. Okay. Oh, Jacob, one question. What's your phone number?
314-323-7947.
Okay, great. That's for the stipulations form. I'm not just asking you for your number. Okay. All right, so I'm going to share the stipulations. I will go through this. Please pay attention, committee and applicant. So it's an application for liquor, wine, beer, and cider license for a full service restaurant serving Roman inspired Italian food with a kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation, opening by 5 p.m. and closing by 1 a.m. Monday to Thursday, opening by 12 p.m. and closing by 2 a.m. Friday to Sunday. You will close any front or rear facade doors at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified sound is singing. You won't playing. You'll not have DJs, live music, promoted events, any event at which a cover fee is charged, scheduled performances. You'll play ambient recorded background music only. You'll not apply for an alteration without coming back to us. You'll not participate in pub crawls or have party buses. You'll not have unlimited drink specials. You'll not have happy hours. You'll not have wait lines. You'll have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering. You'll post these stipulations at your restaurant and folks can call you at the number on the form. Sorry, my little brother's there, Ryan. People can call you at the phone number on this form. You will close all outdoor dining allowed under the temporary open restaurants program and any other subsequent uses by 10 p.m. all days and not have any speakers or TV monitors. Does that all sound right?
My only question is about closing outside at 10 p.m. Just because we do take reservations at 9:30 on those tables. And it would be hard to close that early.
Yeah, so that's a standard stipulation that we add for our applicants since the city allowed, or city state allowed outdoor dining until 12 a.m. So that's a standard stipulation that we have. It's not just you.
Okay.
Okay, great, thanks. Anyone from the committee have any questions?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
I do. This is Colin Chan. I just
Oh,
got on
Carlin,
here late.
sorry. This is not the item that you want to talk about. So don't worry.
Okay, I was wondering where this community outside dining came from.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna move this to a vote for the committee. Okay. Michelle, yes. Jeanette,
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Okay, Paul is not here, Ellen is not here, so the motion carries. We will send you the stipulations form tomorrow morning. Please sign and notarize them and return them to the office as soon as possible. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Sure, you too. Susan, anything from the lawyer?
Nothing I've been watching. Maybe the applicant can call his lawyer?
No, I saw him. Is it Neil? He popped in.
We need his lawyer.
Yeah, if the guy's name is Neil, he did pop into the call.
Well, then, can we?
Oh, you're
ask-
right. Yeah, Jeanette, you're right.
So can we ask
Hello?
him to send the petitions?
Neil, hi, we need the petitions for your client. Can you resend them to Susan? She emailed you.
Is he there?
Neil's
You have
muted.
to unmute yourself, Neil.
Sal, don't talk. Hello?
Hi, Neil. We need your client's petition. Could you resend them to Susan Stetzer, please?
Okay, so I'm sorry, but the girl Grace in my office was dealing with somebody over there, and she told me that about several hours ago, just to send over the postings, which I did. I was not under the impression that you did not have the application. I believe it was.
We don't know the petition.
So I suspect Ed sent everything he got.
Okay, do you have a petition for your client?
Are you talking about, like, I don't do Manhattan too much. Are you talking about a petition from local
Yes.
residents? Is
Yes,
that what you're
that's
talking
part of the
about?
questionnaire requirement, yeah.
I did not see that in the file. I saw.
It's on the first page, the fourth checkbox, petition in support of proposed businesses, and it's
No,
also in
no,
the
no,
packet.
I understand. I understand it. It's just that, this whole Christmas season was a little rough. The way we work is Grace usually gets everything together, mails it in. At some point, I review the file and I come in front of the board for a meeting. I didn't think anything was missing, to be quite frank with you, other than.
Okay,
the
if you're able to
photograph.
sort it out tonight, we can still hear your client this
No,
evening. If
no,
not,
Sal, please, keep quiet, please, 1 second. What's that? I'm sorry, what?
if you can sort this out, if you can talk to your staff and get the petition to us tonight, we can still hear your client, or else we're gonna have to ask you to withdraw until next month. I'm sending you the email addresses that you need to send the petition to. I just chatted it to you on Zoom. We can come back to you. We have 2 more applications, so there's time to sort it out, if that's okay.
Okay, so you're gonna send me, I don't know if it's done, to be quite frank with you, so I'll have to call Grace and see if she.
All right, I just sent you the emails on Zoom, so,
Did anybody collect petitions? Maybe you should start there.
yeah, okay, we're gonna move on because we need to
Okay,
hear a
thank
bunch of
you.
other things, but, all right. Okay, next on the agenda is number 453 Bayard. Are the applicants for that here?
Hi, good evening. Howard Levine for the applicant. The applicant is on the phone. There was a little bit of a technological glitch, but he's here on the phone. His English.
See the 516 number?
Yes, and his English is
Okay.
a little bit limited, so his wife is on the line as well. She can interpret.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm just gonna drop the application in the chat, just one moment. Okay. So this is number 453 Bayard Street. It's an application for a full on-premises liquor license for Yunshang Rice Noodle House between Bowery and Mott Street. Certificate of occupancy of 72 people, 20 tables and 42 seats, no bar. Asian food prepared in a full kitchen during all hours of operation. They're asking for opening no later than 12 p.m. and closing by 4 a.m. all days. There are 6 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet per the lamp map. This location has been operating with this restaurant since May 2018 without a liquor license. What time are they closing these days, like right now?
Right now, they're closing at 4 a.m.
They're closing at 4 a.m. Okay. Okay. Okay, according to our research, this location does not appear to have ever had a full on-premises license. It was previously approved for beer wine license in June 2013. This applicant has never previously been a license holder, but prior to opening this restaurant was a general manager at Fushimi in Brooklyn, which does have a full on-premises liquor license. It does not have an SLA disciplinary record. There have been no 301 complaints at this location. We received a note from one resident who's also a member of CB3, I think he's on tonight as well, who was against a full license but was okay with a wine beer license. The petition that the applicant submitted had 11 signatures from folks within 2 blocks, including 4 who live at 53 Bayard Street. Does that all sound right?
Yes.
Great. Cool. Does the committee have any questions for this applicant?
So they're currently licensed, no, they're currently unlicensed, just serving food and are looking to switch to a full on beer, but they're open till 4 a.m. already.
Yes, that's correct. They've been operating in the space for about 3.5 years now, serving the community. It's a very small and quiet place, and there has been no issue whatsoever. There's no police summonses. They are not a focal point for any kind of nefarious activity. The submission contained a comprehensive review of all of the steps that the owner will take to continue to be a productive member of the community, which is in his best interest to do so because he's already a member of the community and he certainly doesn't want to do harm to it. He wants to continue in its good graces. He's going to make sure that there's no double parking outside of the restaurant. Bayard Street there is one way and it could become congested. It's also going to keep an eye on the crosswalk to make sure that that's not being blocked by any car that's having anything to do with the business. He will not permit people to loiter outside. He will hang a sign that there is no smoking and take an alcohol awareness training program, so he has that certificate. If it appears that there is an increase in the business to the extent that the tables are taken and people are waiting, he will impose a reservation policy which will deter people from waiting any kind of inordinate amount of time. And he keeps an eye on all of the mechanicals of the premises, including the HVAC and everything else. There's no noise vibration, there's no issues. There's no residence right above him or in the unit above that. Those are commercial spaces, so that's not a concern. There are no DJs, there's no live music, there's no karaoke, no pub crawls, no pub specials, no drink specials, no happy hours. There is no traditional bar that anyone can sit at. Rather, like the chairwoman said, there are 20 tables. Most of them are 2-seaters. Once in a while, a 2-seater is put together so that there's a family of 4 or a party of 4. But this is a quintessential small restaurant that's been in operation for 3.5 years. There is no other liquor licensed establishment on that street in between Mott and Bowery. So it's not like there would be a oversaturation right on that block. Of course, it is the dense population of Lower Manhattan. So there are 6 other licenses within 500 feet, but none on that street. We've worked with both of the block associations. Mr. Lee, I see you there. Thank you very much for your assistance in this matter. We've provided the Chinatown Corp with an additional writing, which we also sent to the community board, reiterating the fact that the owner has no intention of developing the basement space. So all it is that first floor. The basement space has 2 bathrooms and an accessory kitchen. And we put in writing that there is no intention to ever develop that space for on-premises eating and dining. And notwithstanding that, of course, they will stipulate to come right back to the community board if they ever seek to alter the space in any manner or shape or form. And in this case, if they ever wanted to develop anything, they'd have to go through the buildings department at the very least. But they have no intention to do that, and we put that in writing. This applicant, as the chairwoman was so kind to say, has previous experience in a full on-premises restaurant that did not have any adverse history, and he has continued in that regard.
Great, thanks. David, you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the 4 a.m. close end to serving of alcohol. It's on the late side for a restaurant to be serving alcohol as a restaurant.
4 a.m. is very late for someone like me who has a hard time at this point staying up past midnight. But being that as it may, again, if someone comes in at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and they sit down and they want to enjoy this Asian fusion cuisine and they want to have, a glass of wine or a drink to wash it down, to the extent that the business model has no music and no entertainment, there's no outdoor space, there is obviously a front door, but the facade does not open up and there's no extras here. You get your food, you sit down, you leave, and that's the end of that. I understand that 4 a.m. is late, but to the extent that this business has been open till 4 a.m. already for 3.5 years now, and there's never been an issue whatsoever of loitering, of noise, of nuisance, of any kind of activity that would be harmful to the neighborhood, I think that speaks volumes. And I think that to the extent that this owner is operating the business in the neighborhood for that long makes him already a member of the community. He has a vested interest in continuing to be in the good graces of the community because he has another 6+ years on his license and he wants the business to do well. Particularly at this time when everyone was cooped up in their apartments and there was very limited amount of activity that you can do. Now that people can get out and about a little bit, notwithstanding the fact that you still have to wear a mask and social distance and be very careful, if somebody gets off work late, or if somebody wants to meet a friend late, or if somebody sits and chats because they can, finally be in public with someone, I can understand, why they would want to be up that late. But I do acknowledge that 4 a.m. is late. There's no 2 ways about it. It's late, it's very late, it's later than I would ever stay out. But it is within the State Liquor Authority's law, and they would like to have the opportunity.
Sorry to cut you on, but you're repeating yourself and stuff like that. As you might say, Chinatown mostly closes probably most of its stuff at midnight. So, and that's my experience because I live down here. Stuff like that. Chinatown closes at midnight. This is the first time liquor license. 4 a.m. without a liquor license, you could probably be open as a restaurant 24 hours. Well, but this is a liquor license you're asking for. You're asking for a full liquor license. They're asking for 4 a.m. for a space that never had a liquor license. And then you want to have a full license. I'll tell you right here and now that I could not vote for 4 a.m. liquor license all night. And frankly, I think I wouldn't vote for a full license other than a beer and wine.
Thank you, Mr. Hewitt. I just would like to bring to your attention the fact that T Bistro in the area has an OP, and as far as the website of the State Liquor Authority, they're open till 4 a.m. And I think that the Bridgeview Hotel is as well, although I'm not sure. I do understand your concern, and the applicant.
Okay, I'm just gonna, Mr. Levine, I'm gonna cut you off because we just don't have a lot of time,
Sure,
I think.
sure.
Thank you. Okay, so Herman, you're saying you would not vote for an OP?
No.
Okay. Anyone else on the committee have any comments, questions?
Yeah, we don't have a habit of,
Go ahead, Jamie.
we don't have a habit of approving unlicensed places, especially with OP. So I guess I'd support Herman's approach. I mean, if it's open till 4 a.m., currently operating as a restaurant with no bar in place, I think it's going to be hard for any form of like bait and switch to take place. I have no particular issue, but I also don't mind starting with a beer and wine and seeing how that goes.
Okay. Anyone else from the committee have any questions? Okay.
I don't
Oh, sorry,
know
go ahead,
how
Jeanette.
deeply, yeah, I'm not like deeply concerned. It is a restaurant. I just don't know if there's, like, I'm not concerned that this is gonna become like a very rowdy spot. Like in principle, yes, I don't really think it's a good idea to open somewhere and serve alcohol that late, but the potential for it to get out of hand isn't really, I mean, it's just a restaurant.
I think so. I'm just gonna, I think
less
I'm
concerned.
fine. I'm fine with an OP, but I would think we would want to do our standard restaurant hours, which is 12 a.m. weeknights, 2 a.m. weekends. If we do that, that's what I would be okay with personally. But anyone else on the committee before we go to the public?
I would wait. If a restaurant is currently operating till 4 a.m. and doing so relatively successfully, I wouldn't want to limit their hours. I'd rather give them the opportunity to increase their business by doing beer and wine only. But again, that's kind of up to the applicant.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can stay open till 4 a.m. if we say, you know, but we can't, they wouldn't be able to serve liquor, for example, if we did that OP till 12 and 2 or something like that.
That would be great if you would look to the applicant's consent on something like that. And forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, but if it was permissible to do an OP, but serve till 12 a.m. on the weekdays and 2 a.m. on the weekends, but permit the restaurant to remain open using its current hours, I think that strikes a balance between running the business and protecting the community.
Okay, all right, great. So I'm going to go to the community now. I see a few hands up. Reminder that each person will get 2 minutes to speak. The first hand I saw was Jan's. Jan, if you want to go ahead.
Hi, thank you, committee, and thank you to Mr. Levine. I just wanted to let the committee know that Mr. Levine did personally reach out to us, and so we've had discussions about the basement use. We're very happy that that has been memorialized. I'd like that read into the record that they will not be converting that basement to being a bar. I want to speak a little bit about the culture of Bayard Street and what it has evolved to. It is a unique go-to destination known for really desserts. It's kind of Chinatown's dessert row. There are many tea shops, and in fact, the latest number of businesses that have opened are related to tea as the primary beverage. But aside from dessert shops and tea shops, Bayard Street really has great retail diversity, and such as a local hardware store, a local butcher, a local grocery store, all which managed to survive during COVID. I do want to also bring up the fact that Bridgeview Co-op is an enormous co-op complex directly across the street from 53 Bayard, and they don't have any signatures of approval in their petition from this enormous co-op. I do want to also bring up that on that block, it is very significant that Yifang Tea, which is 67 Bayard Street, used to have a beer and wine. And when the new owners came and opened their tea shop, they decided not to do a beer and wine at all. Similarly, New Shanghai Deluxe, which is a very large restaurant at the corner of Bayard and Mott, has allowed their liquor license, their beer and wine license to not be renewed. So they actually survived through the pandemic without beer and wine. Also, Xi'an Famous Noodles moved from one small space at 67 to a larger space on the same block. a very large noodle shop, and they too have opted to not have a beer and wine license. And so these businesses are doing well. In fact, the block is doing well. And so I would say that what our feedback has been is that the community is not desirous of Bayard Street turning into a late night alcohol-driven environment. It thrives today because the market has dictated family-friendly businesses instead. Critically,
Dan, if you could wrap it up, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure. The street basically functions as our dessert row. Everything closes very early, and it's quite an anomaly in Chinatown to have anybody eating past 12 a.m. And Herman is completely right. We have serious trepidations about having an OP at this location because the whole block is doing really well without any alcohol. And so the idea that this is needed and that this is going to be unique, there's plenty of places to drink in Chinatown. The feedback that we've gotten is just basically that we really should not be looking at an OP for this location.
Okay, thank you so much, Jan. We appreciate it.
Sure.
And I shared all the info you sent us with the committee ahead of time, so.
Thank you, Michelle.
Of course. Okay, the next hand I see is Carlin. Carlin, are you?
Yeah,
Go
hello,
ahead.
committee. I like to, where did my video go? I'd like to bring up some facts to counter what Mr. Levine here is saying. The business, it is not a food forward place. It's a hot pot place where you walk in, you order raw meat and you put it into broth. So we're not talking any kind of fancy cuisine that would need any kind of cocktails or to let's say accommodate. Right? In my experience with any kind of Chinese cuisine, most diners would opt for beer or Chinese wine. Right? And most of this Chinese wine is low in alcohol content. Right? This business, as Mr. Levine says, was open for 3 years, but we have to point out for 18 months of this period, they were closed because of this pandemic. So they have no proven record here. They tried open 24 hours, but that failed. It is a very quiet restaurant, I would not say this is a booming business. So to me, this reeks of a switch, of a bait and switch into a full liquor operation. So I would, from my standpoint, I would definitely oppose this full liquor here. Wine and beer, yeah, let's go for the wine and beer. Thank you.
Thanks, Carlin. Okay, the next hand I see is Michelle Campo. Michelle, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, you can't see me. Okay. I would like to state that that the lawyer did reach out to the Bowery Block Association, which is nice. And I would also like to state that the Bowery Block Association is in agreement with the Chinatown Core Block Association in opposing the application for 53 Bayard Street, Yunshang Rice Noodle House. The BBA notes that Bayard Street is a residential block with hundreds of families with retail diversity, tea shops, dessert shops, etc. This application would potentially turn this into a late night alcohol-driven environment. This application asked for hours much later than any in the area. Thank you for your consideration. Bowery Block Association chiming in.
Thanks, Michelle. Okay, anyone else here to speak on number 453 Bayard Street? Please raise your Zoom hand. Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands. Okay, committee, do you have any thoughts after hearing from the community? Would you want to proffer what you'd be? I had already said what I'd be comfortable with, OP 12 and 2. Herman said no OP. Jamie, Jesse, Jeanette, Paul, David.
Sorry, I said that because I technically know, especially what the other three people does is what I know about that street and that neighborhood. And therefore, I would vote for beer and wine if they want to do a 1 o'clock all night, because that street does not have the residents going out there having liquor. And that's what I know as a fact. So what you'll do is importing people to go there in that community which has no desire to have an OP.
Okay, thanks, Herman. Anyone else from the committee have any thoughts?
I'm okay with the OP, 12 o'clock, 2 a.m. the weekends, and I respect what Mr. Lee's saying, but I don't think anybody does the accounting when they say like the businesses are doing fine. I mean, how do we know the business is doing fine? I mean, it's not like we're
We actually interview them.
Hold on. Sorry.
We do interview them. I'm the Block Association, and we do our research.
But you don't do the accounting for the businesses, so I don't understand how everyone. I'm with you. I agree with you a lot of times, but as I'm a business owner, it looks like everyone's doing fine, but nobody's doing fine really. Everyone's like barely making it. Could even pay the rent on Con Ed. I agree with you. So I think 12 o'clock done and 2 a.m. tops. Michelle, that's my opinion.
Okay, thanks, Paul. I'm taking everyone's input. Jeanette, Jesse.
I would be fine with wine and beer until 4. It is at its core still a restaurant. I guess I'm not as familiar with what a bait and switch feels like, but if I read,
Is that all you would vote on?
No. I think that's like the most gracious thing I'd give. I'm kind of with Herman on like, I don't see the need to start at a full liquor license because we tend to progress and see how they do in the neighborhood and how they interact with the neighbors first anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they operate as well as they say they're going to operate under the conditions of a wine and beer, then it should be no problem for them to get liquor later down the line. So,
okay. Jesse?
Good with the OP with limited hours.
Okay. Jamie?
Good with whichever one of those two options the applicant wants.
Okay. David?
Yeah, I prefer that it was wine beer.
Till what time?
Well, I heard Jeanette saying till 4. I mean, earlier. I mean, it actually wouldn't even needed to come to us if it just been wine and beer until midnight and 2. Is that correct?
Just midnight? No, only till midnight.
Only until midnight around the whole week?
Yeah,
Well,
that's the admin approval is 12 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I would prefer to see.
You would prefer 12 a.m.?
I really would.
Okay.
Just what restaurants do.
Okay.
Generally.
The cat, David. Where's the cat?
I know, but it's going to be, I really don't see the need to bring liquor license onto a block, which, I live on blocks with lots of liquor licenses. I don't like it.
Okay. So right now, 1, 2. Right now I'm counting enough support for an OP till 12 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There also would probably be enough support for beer wine till 4 a.m.
I wouldn't go to 4 a.m.
You wouldn't go to 4 a.m. Okay.
Too much.
Okay. So you would do beer wine till the same hours, Paul?
I would
Or
do
OP?
12 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Herman said 1 a.m.
Yeah, 1 a.m. is fine too. But
I will do it. I said 1 o'clock, but midnight is when most things I know.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see where I can circle the Venn diagram here of of opinions. Okay.
Well, if said beer and wine until midnight, let's take a hand on that. Let's see where that goes.
Sure. Okay. Committee, if you would vote for 12 a.m. all night, Herman, that's what you want to propose?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, shouldn't we start from the more extreme option and work back?
Well, we definitely
What's
don't have
the
support for
extreme?
4 AM. So what's your other proposal
2 AM on the weekends, midnight on the weekdays.
for beer wine?
Beer wine.
Okay, I would vote for that. Jeanette, you would vote for that.
Yeah.
Paul, you would vote for that.
What time is those? again?
12 weekdays, 2 AM weeknights.
All right, okay, that means Friday and
Friday
Saturday,
and Saturday,
right?
yeah.
It's a stretch, but I'll go for that.
Okay. So does that feel like the consensus committee, 12 AM, 2 AM beer wine as a start? And if they do well, they can come back later?
Well, we're not promising anything. I think we shouldn't do that.
No. Sorry, I shouldn't say that we're promising, but give them the option to return if they, we would start off with the beer wine as we
Yeah, they
typically would
always
with an
have the
unlicensed space. Yeah.
Yeah, they always have the option. I don't think we could stop them from coming back.
Yeah. Okay, so let me take a straw poll then for beer wine, 12 AM, 2 AM. I'm fine with that. Herman, you're fine with that? Yeah. Herman, you're fine with 12 AM, 2 AM beer wine?
Yeah.
Okay. David? Yeah. Okay, Paul?
Yep.
Jeanette?
Yep.
Okay, Jesse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice fast, I like that. And Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna ask the applicant. Applicant, would you accept beer wine 12 AM, 2 AM as a start?
Well, then the question I have for you, and you forgive me, is there an option to consider the OP at this point, or is that not?
Well, that's what we just did.
Right. So basically the OP is off the table. So it's either accept this or nothing.
Well, you don't have to sign our stipulations. As a committee, we will pass the resolution that we think is appropriate for this, and then you have the option to not sign those stipulations. But I like to ask the applicant, would you consider these different stipulations than you had originally put forth?
So then I need to speak to the applicant just briefly in private, if there's a method in which I could do that. Just so I understand that he understands exactly what's going on. I know that his wife is on the line, interpreting for him right now. Is there a way that we can do that or no?
Well, I mean, I think that this is the resolution that the committee is going to pass. You will have a chance subsequently to decide with your client whether or not you're going to sign those stipulations, or if you're going to decide to go, do whatever. You don't sign those stipulations and then do whatever you would want to do after that.
Okay, I think
Ask if it's possible for you to engage with them now. I realize that it's kind of a public. Are you asking outside of a public?
Yeah, he wants to go on mute and make us. I mean,
Well, he needs to explain it to his client.
I understand, but I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes waiting for them. We need to move on to the next application. So that's why.
In public, that would be great.
Right.
That's the whole. Next one.
That's
well, if we move on to the next one, Mr. Levine, you're going to be here for the next hour at least. So that's your decision.
Okay, so forgive me. Let me just make sure that I understand the choices. It's accept the stipulation of 12 weekdays, 2 Friday and Saturday for a restaurant wine, right?
Correct. And you can stay open till 4 AM, just not serve.
Okay,
Until
and
4
then
AM.
the alternative is to not accept that stipulation. You pass that stipulation and then they apply in any manner they seem fit, and the authority will do what it will do.
That's your prerogative to sign or to not sign the stipulations that we pass. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you have to know right now if they intend to sign, or can they?
No, we don't need to sign. I just, as a courtesy, I'm asking you so that we know if you intend to sign it, but you have until the full board meeting really to decide what you're going to do. So.
Okay, so then.
Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I wouldn't say they have till the full board meeting. We give them about a week to sign the stipulations or not. The other thing is, you should explain that if the stipulations are not signed, the community board will go to the SLA hearing and fight the approval.
We'll ask for our stipulations to be put on. If the authority approves it.
Or what we generally do is ask to deny because they wouldn't sign the stipulations. I mean, that's the protocol.
knowing that we have a week is great. I only need a day or so, and I'll have an answer to you. How do I communicate that answer to you, whether they'll sign the stip? Does that
Okay,
go through Mr. Chang?
we'll send you the stipulations tomorrow from the office, and then you could when the same person who sends them to you, it'll be
Yeah.
Calvin Brown, you can let him know whether you're signing them or not.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you all very much for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share the stipulations on the screen. I will need to make a few edits just because we changed during the meeting. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my screen once I open this up. Okay. Okay, so this is, let me just make these. Sunday. Okay. So what we propose as a committee is a wine, beer, and cider license for 53 Bayard Street. It's a Chinese restaurant with a kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation. We would ask them to open by 12 p.m. and then close by 2 a.m. Thursday to Saturday and 12 a.m. Sunday to Wednesday. No outdoor space, closed fixed facade, no DJs, no live music, no promoted events, no event with a cover fee, no scheduled performances, ambient recorded background music only. They will not apply for an alteration without coming back to us. They would not seek a change in class to full OP without coming back to us. No pub crawls, no unlimited drink specials, no happy hour, no wait lines, staff responsible for ensuring no loitering. And you'll post the stipulation outside, and you will install soundproofing as necessary and ensure that no sound is audible in surrounding residences and address any soundproofing deficiencies with the sound engineer.
Can I just ask one quick question?
Sure.
I thought you mentioned that although they could only serve to a certain amount of time, that they could stay open until 4 a.m. But the wording is just a little bit different up above where you have closed.
Yeah, Susan, how would you suggest?
I would say serve liquor till 12 p.m. and instead of, you'd have to cross out my hours of operation.
Yeah.
And say serve liquor from 12 p.m. in the weekend, 2 a.m.
So I'm just gonna do this down here.
Did it say beer wine?
Beer wine.
Does it matter? Okay.
Yeah, but I would put it up on top also because that's what they look for. That's where the SLA looks for it.
All right, well, I'll have to edit the PDF tomorrow, so.
Okay.
I'd also add the word only somewhere, like only from 12 p.m. until 2 a.m. Otherwise it doesn't, just reads a little better.
Okay, cool. And I will, let me just put a comment in to fix this. Okay, committee, any questions, comments, concerns?
I'm gonna mute a few people because I can hear a lot of background.
Yeah, thank you. All right, hearing no further questions from the committee, I'm going to move us to a vote. Reminder that we're voting on a beer wine license serving from 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. weekends and 12 a.m. weeknights, 53 Bayard Street. Michelle, yes. David.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Jeanette.
Yes.
Jesse.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Did I miss anybody? Are there only 6 of us? Okay, 6. All right, thank you, Mr. Levine, for your patience. We will send you the stipulations tomorrow, as Susan said. Well, Calvin will send them. You have a week to decide, but the sooner you can get back an answer, the better. Thank you for your time, and thank you for everyone who came from the community to speak on this item. Okay. We lost Susan Neal's not here anymore, so I don't think we're hearing this one tonight.
Okay.
But it would be good if we could get a withdrawal from them if they came back, but I don't see them. Okay, moving on, we are going to now do number 5, 109 Ludlow Street. I'm going to drop the questionnaire into the chat. Committee has the draft resolution. Okay, I'm just gonna run through the highlights here. But first I should ask, are the applicants here? Adam, I see you're here. Is your client here as well?
Yes, he is.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is an application for a full on-premise liquor license at 109 Ludlow Street for Brasserie 109 LLC. Certificate of occupancy of 220 people, 26 tables and 86 seats, 3 bars and on 3 floors. There are 3 bars with 10 seats at each bar, 1 15-foot bar, 1 12-foot bar, 1 14-foot bar. The premises has a full kitchen that will be serving New York City inspired brasserie food with international influences during all hours of operation. The type of music will be DJs and recorded music at ambient background levels. There are 28 full on premises liquor licenses within 500 feet per the lamp map, excuse me. The prior operator at this location was operating as Los Feliz with a full OP. It was approved in February 2009 with closing hours of 4 a.m. and DJs in the lowest basement level. There's a basement and a cellar level. With a door person or security. And this operator had a lengthy SLA disciplinary history. I'm not going to go through all of it, but they were fined upwards of $40,000 between 2012 and 2019 for various violations, which is to say, obviously this is not the applicant that's here tonight, but that this location has had issues in the past. The applicants tonight have listed themselves in their application as being license holders at Temakase at 157 2nd Avenue and Zazzy's Pizza on Orchard Street, just around the corner, and in Greenwich Village. And one of the applicants previously held a license in Brooklyn, or 2 licenses in Brooklyn. I'll just note that unfortunately the SLA took down its primary mode of our doing research on licenses in December. So we are relying on a lamp map, which has incomplete information and on what the applicants are telling us. Los Feliz closed during the pandemic. There were no commercial 301 complaints at this location since 2018. We received a statement from a representative of the LAS dwellers expressing opposition because this appears to be a club lounge rather than a restaurant in a heavily saturated area with a history of quality of life issues. The LAS dwellers also organized, we received 57 letters from residents before 12 p.m. on Friday with a form letter with personal statements in opposition. The applicant submitted a petition with 47 signatures in favor, 3 residents of 109 Ludlow, 22 residents of the dorm next door, and 22 other residents who live within 2 blocks. This applicant is asking for, bear with me, closing 12 a.m. on Mondays, 1 a.m. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 2 a.m. Thursdays, 4 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. And they're asking for DJs 2 times a week at ambient background levels, happy hours till 7. Did I miss anything there or get anything wrong?
Just on the bar seats, there are 10 bar stools on the first floor, and there are no bar stools on the second or third.
Okay. Okay. And which one is the first floor bar? How long is it? 15, 12, or 14? Do you know?
This the curved bar, I believe. 15.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, does anyone from the committee have any questions?
Actually, could I possible have somebody, the community people, so that I get a sense of what's happening?
Okay, you want a concept description?
Yeah, if you could just
All right.
be succinct about it, but yes, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we have a New York City brasserie rooted in French cuisine. We're not limiting ourselves to French or French with pasta. So we're gonna have French rooted cuisine with American influences, maybe tagine from Morocco. Asian ingredients will be infused when they make sense. And overall we'll be operating 3 floors. Dining will be fixed on the first 2 floors. The 3rd floor is the cellar, and that will, it'll be a flex space. So overflow dining, private dining, and then running a cocktail bar in the late week. This is, we've heard a lot of the concerns from the community, and I think we've addressed all of them. And if there's any, unclear actions that we're taking to mitigate all risk and noise, please let me know, and I'll clarify in detail.
Okay, thank you. Herman, do you have any other questions?
I probably have some if I hear the concerns of the neighborhood.
Okay, anyone else from the committee have any questions before we go to the public?
I will say it seems like a very different operation than Los Feliz. I remember Los Feliz back in the day. I don't know. Am I naive? Is everyone else shaking their head being like, no, Jeanette, this is terrible. Yeah, David's shaking his head. Got it.
I mean, obviously, I think it's clearly different. But the question is it appropriate for the neighborhood? So that's my question, at least.
If I may.
Sorry,
ask,
no, we're talking about among the committee right now. Sorry, we'll give you a chance in a second. Jamie, go ahead.
I do have a question. I'm trying to see a floor plan or sort of like proposed concept. I see that it's listed as 40 seats on the ground level dining. What happens on the next 2 levels?
So the second page, the bottom of the page is going to be the basement level, which is the 2nd floor. And then there's a stairway noted in the middle of that page. And then that is the cellar level on the top of the 2nd page.
No, I know the space. I know it very,
okay.
Unfortunately, I know it really well. My question is, you've laid out a floor plan. You're talking about having a full-scale restaurant. You've laid out a floor plan for, well, at least you've written about one for the ground floor.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 40 seats and 600 square feet on the ground floor. What is your seating plan for the bottom 2 floors?
For the following 2 floors? Yeah. Okay, so there's, it should be noted, but we have bench seating in the alcove on the 2nd floor, which is the 2nd page on the bottom. We have bench seating on the alcove, the cutaway. We have a communal table on the left side, and then we have a mixture of 6 tops, 4 tops on the right side, and then a 4 top near the bar and near the back of the room. Are you looking at the floor plan?
I'm looking for it.
Okay.
I see it I've got. Oh no, my bad, man. I got it. I apologize.
Okay.
It was submitted with the.
Yeah, no, I apologize. It was off all the photos. Yeah, give me a second. I'll take a look at this.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Anyone else from the committee have any questions? Okay. All right, I'm going to ask everyone who is here to speak on this item to raise your hand. Depending on how many people there are, I might limit to 1 minute, because if there are like 20 people, that's a full 40 minutes. So please raise your Zoom hand if you're here to speak on this item. Number 5, 109 Ludlow Street. Okay, going once, going twice, 109 Ludlow Street, number 5, raise your Zoom hand, please. If you're having trouble with that, please chat us, Jeanette or I. Chat or me. Okay.
Sorry, gonna meet a couple people again. It's a lot
Thank
of
you,
background.
thank you, appreciate it. Okay, so I see, if I'm counting correctly, 8 hands right now. All right, so I'll give you guys a full 2 minutes, but please try to be specific in your comments about this particular location if possible, and how it would impact you, rather than just general comments that will help the committee to evaluate the application before us. Okay, the first hand I see is Dan Tino. Dan, go ahead. Oh, we can't hear you, Dan. No. Dan, you want to start it out? I'll come right back to you.
Now.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
Awesome. So I'm against this OP liquor license. Everything in the application looks like a club after 10 p.m. every night. Where if there's only 82 seats, where are the other 140 people gonna be? They're gonna be dancing. There's DJs, and there's door people after 10. And then it's right next to another bar that has a line outside, which causes really bad problems for walking by in the neighborhood. I live right up the street on Rivington Street and would not walk by that corner just because of the people ready to party or partying outside. Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you for keeping it brief. The next hand I see is David Troutman. David, go ahead.
I have to turn my video off in order to.
Sure, we can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my comments are about the petitions for the applicant and the petitions in opposition for the neighborhood. I am opposed to this liquor license. The numbers I have as I read this information may vary slightly from what you read previously. There is strong community opposition to a full on-premise license for Brasserie 109 Ludlow. 74 total letters in opposition were collected. 9 were outside of the 500-foot radius, leaving a final total of 5 residents, 5 who I believe to be residents of 109 Ludlow Street in opposition, a total of 65 letters in opposition. By comparison, we believe that the petition supporting, we believe shows 49 signatures collected. We question if one of them was void after the resident wrote a letter in opposition when he learned about the full, complete method of operation of the establishment. We question if 21 of the signatures came from SVA, School of Visual Arts dorms, which are generally not full-time residents, are rather transient and move from the neighborhood rather at the completion of their schooling. And we question if 6 are not in the vicinity or near the impact zone, which I believe this leaves a final total of close to 21 signatures supporting the application. And of those, they do not show apartment numbers or house numbers, I don't believe. And it couldn't be necessarily determined if they were residents or employees. So that is my thoughts on the application. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Okay, the next hand I see is Kevin. Go ahead.
Hi, hello. Hi. Thank you for the time. I just think I'm opposed to this. I think the area is just so overly saturated with liquor licenses that whatever any proprietor does, it won't be enough. Once clients leave the establishment, you have no control over them. They go down to Rivington Street, they go to that intersection, and it's just chaotic. It's so loud. They urinate in these outdoor seating areas. There are lines down the street. It's unpleasant to walk down. And I have lived here my entire life. I have a pretty high threshold for noise, but there is a point where it's too much. I'm not a Puritan at all. I have no qualms with a liquor license at a place like Stanton Street, because if you go over there, you'll see for yourself on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night, it's a completely different vibe and it's much more livable. So if there's ever been a moment to not give out a license, it's right now, because the neighborhood is just in a total chaotic place right now. So I oppose this and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Okay, the next hand I see is Pamela Ito. Pamela? Pamela, go ahead.
Hi there. Thank you so much for making time to allow people to speak tonight. I'm representing the Suffolk Street Block Association, and we're opposed to this license. This is just a couple of blocks from where most of us live, and we wanted to just point out that across this Delancey Street from this location is the Hotel Chantel and a couple of other, I think it's called something like DL or something like that. Very, very, very big establishments. I believe both of them are 2 levels already, and this one is 3 levels. And because of the DJs and because of the late times that are being requested, we just want to ask the committee to really seriously consider people who actually live in the neighborhood, and that it affects their quality of life. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pamela. Okay, the next hand I see is Tim Darwish. Tim, go ahead.
Hi, how are you? I'm opposed to this. I'm a resident of 109 Ludlow, and I've lived through both Suba, the building out of Suba, and Los Feliz. It's, you know, if it's done right, I don't have as much of an issue with it, but if it's going to be Los Feliz 2.0, you know, we had people in the hallways urinating, coming in through the emergency doors, just ringing doorbells all night to people in the lines. You know, if they do this and keep the DJs and everything to the, you know, the basement, that's one thing, but you know, upstairs can't become part of the club. You know, I have a feeling that after midnight, the whole place turns into a club, not a dining establishment. And, you know, living here, just don't want to live through it again. And I had a question, is there going to be any, is outdoor dining part of this? Are they going to build a shelter out front? Is it going to be another congested thing? And, you know, between the DL, Cafe, Hotel Chantal, and Los Feliz, it just turned into a triangle of moving people. I think we have enough in the block. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tim. They are not doing outdoor dining, to answer your question. Okay, the next hand I see is Alice O. Alice, go ahead.
Hi, I'm a resident of Ludlow Street. I posed another applicant for the same location about a year ago. We had a long conversation. It's, you know, I'm sure you're a nice guy, whoever you are doing this restaurant, but it is the nature of the neighborhood, the beast of this size of a space. You're bringing 200 people down. It's, we're already overrun. You know, we're already overrun. It is just, they call it Hell's Square for a reason. We can barely walk our own streets at night. there's a 500-foot rule, seems to be disregarded over and over again. You know, we have now this exponential problem of people being outdoors in the public, you know, in sheds or whatever you want to call them, cars, it isn't just the club, it's all the drunk people that come out of the club and do whatever they do after they leave the club. Okay, so we're basically living in some sort of really bad Mardi Gras that doesn't even have good costumes, you know? It's just a nonstop trough of vomit along Ludlow Street, and urine and obnoxious people, and sometimes scary things happen too. There's violence, you know, there's people who are threatening, there's women being harassed. It's not just like, oh, one club. It is the culmination of all of these liquor licenses, and a 200 top, I don't know what you're calling it, 200 capacity is just a magnet for more of the same. So I say no.
Thanks, Alice. Okay, the next hand I see is Alec.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Perfect, thank you. My name is Alec Kucha. I'm a resident of 109 Ludlow Street. I don't want to waste the committee's time by rehashing everything that's already been said. I agree. I oppose the restaurant downstairs. I agree with everything that's been said about how oversaturated the neighborhood and particularly the block is. I agree with how dangerous it can feel at night sometimes, especially now during COVID, having so many people wandering around right outside the building, sort of drunk and doing whatever, not really giving a shit about the people who live here. So I'm not going to, again, go over too many of the things that have already been said, but I oppose this restaurant. Thank you.
Thanks, Alec. Okay, the next hand I see is Diam. Diam, go ahead.
Thank you, Michelle and committee. And I think the question you posed at the beginning, Michelle, was correct. Like, what will this do to our community to that effect? I don't want to rehash everything. Everybody knows how bad it is. That corner is insane. This is not going to be a restaurant dash lounge. This is going to be what everyone knows is a club-restaurant. It's going to be a late night venue. It's going to have doormen. It's going to have security. It's going to have a designated cocktail lounge. We know what this is going to be. We appreciate that the applicant was honest about it. And I don't need to go over this. Like, you know the history of this premises. You know how bad this area is. But I do want to recognize something about this committee. When you guys said no with us for 112 Rivington, we got a shoe store. It was a long fought. You did it with us, and we got something different from this neighborhood. And that corner now is not blighted, it's bright. And there's opportunity for us to actually bring some calmness to the corner of Rivington and Essex at night. So this should be an easy no. There's no public benefit for this. We will fight this at the SLA if we need to. And I think something else you should consider, if you look, we were able to find all the records. I'm not sure why, Michelle, that maybe you don't, but you can also look at open data. But these applicants don't have late night businesses anywhere else. They're going to do that to our community. They're told to close at 12 a.m. at other places, have no DJs, have no dancing. These are part of their stipulations in other community boards, but yet they want to come to our neighborhood, one of the worst neighborhoods, and have all of these elements, which we know we're going to pay the price for, especially those that living in that building. It is going to be loud. There's going to be crowds outside their door. There's going to be security, and it's going to be mayhem. So I hope you'll vote no on this. This is an easy no. There's no public benefit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next hand I see is Patrick Walsh. Patrick, go ahead. Patrick, if you're trying to talk, you're muted. There you go. Oh, no. Okay, we'll come back to Patrick. The next hand I see is Kathy Ramey.
Yes, thank you. My name is Kathy Ramey. I live on Ludlow Street on that block, about the middle of the block. And I can tell you I've been here for decades, and every time there is a venue that opens that is similar to this, the sound level is unbearable. And, it's even just the people who are coming and going, even if the soundproofing is good in the establishment. It's unbearable. So I do oppose this.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, Patrick, go ahead if you're able to speak now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, Michelle, I oppose this with everything, every fiber of my being. Michelle, did you say that there were 28 licenses, liquor licenses within 500 feet of this place?
Yep.
Okay, that enough is reason to oppose this. I don't want to echo whatever everyone else says, but the situation is already out of control. The NYPD cannot handle it. It's a matter of physics. You cannot invite thousands and thousands and thousands of people to your little area of the city, get them drunk, and expect anything other than what the degradation that we residents have been forced to put up with for years now. So I oppose this, as I said, completely. Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. Okay, the next hand I see is Zhou Chan.
Yes, hi.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna have one simple answer. No, I happen to work at the Lower East Side Prep as a program director for a youth program there. It's not a matter of the kids being in the evening. It's always in the morning when they go into school, and all the garbages and all the vomits and all the unnecessary crap, whatever you want to call it, puke, that's always underneath or around the fence or hiding in a staircase by the school. So my answer is no. I mean, I have other colorful metaphors, but I'll leave it as no. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Joe. Okay, if there's anyone else that is in opposition to this but does not want to speak, do you mind just putting your Zoom hand up so we can count you? I'm gonna put your hand down, Joe. Okay. Okay, committee, now that we've heard from everyone, do you have any other questions?
Sorry, Michelle, that was.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Go ahead. Jeanette, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, is anyone on the committee interested in approving this liquor license as an OP? It doesn't seem like this crowd is actually interested, so I wonder how much discussion we really have to go through.
I am not.
I'm against it too.
Inclined to vote for it.
Okay, so I'm hearing no from Paul and from Herman. Anyone else?
No, if we say no, they will not get a license based on the previous history of the location. That's my understanding.
Okay, Jeanette.
Yeah, I'm down to deny, just flat out deny, no stipulations, if that's what everyone is saying. So,
Amy, Jesse, any feelings?
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think what the public said summarized it well for us. There's no benefit to this. It's already a very congested area. One of the few ways that we can get a license denied, we find at the SLA, is through having a problem location, which, as I noted and is spelled out, committee in the resolution, all the penalties that were levied against the former operator. So I'm inclined to vote no on this as well, along with the rest of the committee. So Jamie, go ahead.
Yeah, I do feel for the applicant. It's not his fault that he's applying for such a storied and difficult place, and I have nothing against the guy, the applicant themselves, and I wish them success. This is not the location, and that's unfortunate.
Well, I also feel that this applicant is not going to be running a restaurant, at least not a substantial portion of it. It's going to be, I forgot the number of seats, but it's going to be a 75% nightclub, and it should not be there. He's not trying to run a restaurant. If he was, he wouldn't be having DJs. And all the
He wasn't trying to say it was running a nightclub, right? That was never, or I'm sorry, that he was running just a restaurant at the time. Like we knew that was.
There's restaurant at all hours. The thing is, it is a nightclub, and a nightclub does not belong there. I mean, if he was ramping it down and it was to be a restaurant only, and there was something that could make it be such, I might feel differently. But it's a combination of, it is going to be a nightclub, and it's been a problem nightclub at that location in the past. So we shouldn't be approving anything of this nature at that site.
Okay, yeah, I don't want, I mean, I think we're all on the same page, so no sense in beating around the bush here.
May I respond to any of these, just so I'm on
Sure,
record?
you could, yeah,
Okay.
just if you don't mind being succinct and brief, that'd be great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that over the last 7 years as an owner, I have 0 311 calls, 0 SLA violations. Contrary to what somebody said, I have 2 4 a.m. liquor licenses over the past 7 years, 1 2 a.m. license. We've had DJs. And yeah, so I have zero record with that. And I want to make sure that I'm being held accountable for somebody that was run out of the Lower East Side that no longer exists there, and in a commercial zone, and I'm being held accountable for their afflictions to the neighborhood. That's what we're saying.
No, I don't think
you're not. No, you're not being held accountable. It's that as a committee, we consider the previous history of a location, regardless of who is applying for it, because that is one of the things that the state liquor authority takes into account when they evaluate the application. So we do the same here. And because this is such an egregious location, and we know that the operator is no longer here, and given the circumstances in the neighborhood as it is already, we take that all into account. It's not about you, as Jamie said. So it's about the location. So, that's the way the cookie crumbles on
So,
SLA licenses. Yeah.
One last thing,
Sure, go
220
ahead.
people, that what everyone's been stating, 220 people is not feasible to have in that building if furniture is not removed. So I understand the last operator had an underage issue. I understand that the last operator had an overcrowding issue. If tables and chairs are left in place, that place can't handle more than 120, 130 people. It's 3 floors, but each floor is around 500 to 600 square feet. You're comparing it to a 3,000 square foot nightclub across Ludlow as if we're the same. And I just think it's a little unfair, and I wanted to just verbally voice that out.
Thank you.
Joe, may I add something?
Go ahead, Susan. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jeanette. Sorry. Yes.
I was just gonna
you're breaking.
say, Vic, we don't mean to penalize you, but I think knowing that this process entails going to the community board and seeing what the history of the location is, it's not really our fault that that's the location. And so that's just, I'm not saying that you intend to operate in any way similar to the last guy, but like, that's what we evaluate on. So it's partially on you to find the location where you think that would be amenable, right? So that's all.
Okay. Thanks, Jeanette. Susan, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I think based on everything that you've heard from the community and residents, it seems like there's an emphasis just being put on the previous location, which is only one of the things. I think considering the neighborhood around is even more important. So it isn't just that, people shouldn't feel, or the applicant shouldn't feel it's just based on the previous owner. It is the condition of the community in that area.
The community
Thanks
is
for
a very
clarifying, Susan.
residential footprint. Just
It's
voicing
the
that.
number of licenses. If it's 3 or more, you have to prove benefit. It's way beyond that. So it's just a data thing, data and conditions.
Okay, thanks, Susan. All right, I don't want to continue beating this. It's already 8 o'clock. So committee, any other questions, comments, or concerns before we move to a vote? Okay. And I don't think the final applicant's here, but all right, so let's take a vote on this. Michelle, no. David.
Wait, Michelle.
Wait, are
aren't
we voting no?
Yes
Voting
on
no.
denying?
Sorry, we're voting yes on a denial. Excuse me, thank you. Yes, deny, Michelle.
For the reasons that are, I'm sorry. I'm just confused because I don't realize that we actually have a motion.
Do you have a resolution?
Yes, everyone has it.
But but the public can't see it.
I read through the whole thing when we started.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. David, if you wanted to,
Okay, all right, so then if that's what it was, and it's a denial, okay, yes.
okay, sorry, yes, Jeanette. Jesse,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, community and everyone who came out tonight for this. We appreciate your time, and thank you, applicant, for your time as well. All right, I don't think that this Sal guy is on anymore, is he? Neil, Sal, no. Okay, Susan, what do you want to do about this? Because they didn't formally withdraw. Susan.
I'm sorry. I think you
Okay.
should vote. I think you should vote to deny because they left the meeting without presenting or telling you they were leaving the meeting.
Okay.
And then if they withdraw before the full board, we can change it to
Okay.
withdraw.
Okay, so I'm gonna count this as the last vote, the closing vote. And as Susan said, we are voting to deny Tony's Famous Pizza, 231 First Avenue, because they left the meeting without telling us. Yes, Jesse.
Wait, can we
Yes.
include in the resolution that the applicant is welcome to come back? Like, it just seems kind of like really punitive to,
No.
it's like a process that was probably unclear. So maybe are we gonna let the
They
applicant
always
know
can
that
come
they're
back.
welcome to?
Everybody can always come back at any time. We don't have to give.
We don't have to make that as a case. They could always come back.
Okay, it seems really mean. I don't think they knew what it was
No,
going
no, no,
on.
it's that's just what happens in this situation, Jeanette. It's not, it
If-
happens, yeah.
If
Anyway,
he
it'll be-
contacts us, we'll change it.
Yeah, it'll be cleared up before the full board meeting, but can we at least put in here that they didn't actually they didn't collect it?
Well, we don't know that. We just didn't get it.
No, but that's absolutely what it sounded right. You're correct. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to make the assumption. Okay, so Susan, this is just a simple denial. We, between you or three makes a motion to deny this resolution because the applicant left the meeting without withdrawing or indicating that they were leaving. We're not going to do like a whole long thing, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I
okay.
suspect this will be cleared up before the full board.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm confused if we're approving a resolution to deny the application or if we're denying the resolution. Sorry, confused.
We're denying the application.
They'll probably withdraw between now and the full board meeting, and then they'll come back next month. That's probably what's going to happen.
But we're voting on a resolution that says deny.
Yes. So you will say, unless you disagree, you will say yes. Okay, so I am voting yes to deny this applicant because they left the meeting without telling us. Herman?
So will I.
Okay, David?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Jeanette?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
All right, thanks, guys. That was not the smoothest meeting because of our back and forth with the applicants, but appreciate your time. See you at full board.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.